In 1935, one-fifth of Michigan's employable are without work. The state's population dropped 28%, or 1,355,851, since the 1930 census. Labor movements at this time wanted to make better working conditions and institute pay standards, hence the National United Automobile Workers, UAW unions, were organized. In April, South Haven has combined church services for Holy Week. President Roosevelt opens a second phase of the New Deal in the U.S., calling for Social Security, better housing, reasonable taxation, and farm assistance. The Detroit Tigers win the World Series. With championships in this era from the Lions in football, the Red Wings in hockey, and Joe Louis in boxing, Detroit is known as the City of Champions. On the world front, Mussolini invades Ethiopia. The League of Nations invokes sanctions against Italy. In 1936, during the month of June, FBC puts on a dramatic play about J.S. Bach for the community. It was a well-received endeavor. Also in 1936, a massive organization of labor unions under the Congress of Industrial Organizations, the CIO, with the affiliation of the International Union and United Automobile Workers of America, takes place. A sit-down strike is called for in Flint, which leads to General Motors shutting down its operation, affecting 150,000 workers and closing more than 60 plants in 14 states. On the world scene, a Rome-Berlin Axis is proclaimed. Germany occupies Rhineland and Italy annexes Ethiopia. The Spanish Civil War begins, as well as a war between China and Japan. Hundreds of Americans joined the Lincoln Brigades to fight in the Spanish Civil War, and limited air support, or the Flying Tigers, were sent to China to assist in their fight with Japan. In December, religious groups in South Haven merged to form the City Sunday School, which for a while met at FBC. In February 1937, the South Haven newspaper introduces a new section, What's Doing in the Churches. Joe Louis becomes the world's heavyweight champion in boxing. Amelia Earhart is reported lost somewhere in the Pacific on her around-the-world flight. Hitler repudiates the war guilt clause of the Versailles Treaty and continues to build German power. Italy withdraws from the League of Nations, and Japan invades China, conquering most of the coastal areas. In 1938, the Fair Labor Standards Act establishes minimum wage. Orson Welles' radio broadcast, War of the Worlds, causes panic in some areas because people thought the news report format and delivery was real and that the earth was actually being invaded by aliens. Hitler marches into Austria. Political and geographical union of Germany and Austria is proclaimed. Britain, France, and Italy agree to let German partition Czechoslovakia, known as the Munich Pact. In 1939, President Roosevelt submits a $1.3 million defense budget, proclaims U.S. neutrality, and declares limited emergency. Germany invades Poland. It occupies Bohemia and Moravia, renounces the pact with England, and concludes a 10-year non-aggression pact with the USSR. Albert Einstein writes President Roosevelt about the feasibility of atomic bombs. The New York World's Fair opens, and Gone with the Wind premieres on the big screen of movie houses. Sadly, overseas, World War II begins. Back home, Members of First Baptist Church worship, pray, and help others, living out their faith, not knowing what the future will bring.